Greetings from the seaside town of Karumba, Queensland. The reason I'm here is the body of water you see in front of you. That is the Gulf of Carpentaria. This is the only body of water surrounding Australia I have not been to. As such, I took quite a massive detour to get here. I have now, I guess, completed all of Australia's oceans and seas. Bit of an achievement, I guess. Riley doesn't seem as impressed. He's very tired and he just wants to go home to bed. I was going to go and dip my toes in it, but given that the biggest crocodiles in the world are found around here, I think I'll pass. Karumba is the only town on the entirety of the coast of the Gulf of Carpentaria. And that's a pretty substantial body of water. Much of the coastline along here is mudflats, mangroves and swamps. And as I mentioned, it is filled with some of the biggest crocodiles you will find anywhere on the planet. And I'm slowing down here because there's some kangaroos about to jump out, I think. There's an enormous mob of kangaroos here. You can just see them there. Heaps of them. Hang on a minute, there's loads on the other side. I'm just going to do a U-ey. See if I can get a better shot of them. Loads of them. Christ, they're everywhere. Kangaroos are primarily nocturnal, and as such, they're most active at dawn and dusk, and it's about 5 o'clock in the evening now, so we're sort of at peak when you would expect to see them. Look at them all there. This, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, is why you never drive in Outback, Australia at night, because these lads aren't the best at crossing the road. God, there's a huge mob of them there. They're lined up at the side of the road as far as the eye can see. Adorable animals. Kinda dumb, but adorable. Now to drive out of here very carefully. Ooh. I was too busy watching the ruse that I didn't see the Nissan Pathfinder coming up behind me. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the Gulf of Carpentaria. The coast along here is so inhospitable that in the 19th century, when explorers were trying to find a route across Australia, Burke and Wills and all those lads, they would get to within spitting distance of the Gulf of Carpentaria. They would know it was there, they'd be able to hear the waves crashing in the distance, but they wouldn't actually be able to get to the sea. The mangroves, mudflats, swamps meant that you just couldn't cross them. Karumba is split into two separate sections. You have Karumba Point, which is where I started filming at, and the main village of Karumba itself, which is where I'm staying. There's about maybe a 10-minute drive between the two. And I have to say, it's a rather pleasant spot. It's entirely geared around fishing. So if you're into fishing, you are going to absolutely love it here. Barramundi is the main thing that they fish around here, and apparently the biggest barramundi in the country are found around here, which would probably explain why the biggest crocodiles in the country are found around here too. But there's one thing I want to show you here, which is really, really amazing, and definitely the most interesting factoid I found out about this town. That pub in front of us is known as the Animal Bar. You can see it written on the sign just to the right of the entranceway. And this bar gives its name, and indeed inspired, of all things, a Red Hot Chilli Peppers song. The song itself is called Animal Bar, and it was on their Stadium Arcadium album. Apparently Anthony Kiedis wrote it when he heard about people waiting for the wet season to come to give everything a good clean, and how that represents cleansing your soul and rebirth and all that, which is very Anthony Kiedis, let's be honest. It's one of the better songs off of Stadium Arcadium. Anyway, let's go find somewhere and see if we can get the drone up. And that's Karumba, people. A very, very nice place. I actually really like it. It's really chill and laid back and what have you. Look at this dude just standing on the side of the road. He was in the middle of it a second ago. He's lucky I saw him. I think that's called a brolga. Correct me if I'm wrong.